Shalom and welcome to 2 Minutes of Torah. This year is entitled Achieving a Spiritual High from Wagons and Wages. Previous year we discussed the horrors that go on in Eretz Yisrael, tragically, in the weeks leading up to Lag BaOmer with children, many of them taking wood from building sites, from private yards, and especially the wagons from the supermarkets. Clearly a major halachic violation, and everyone seems to just watch as this goes on, and it's a horror, it's bad chinuch, and it's terrible for the businesses. That was what we pointed out last time. And we said that it's a bit dramatically, a person would go ahead, a kid would eat a chicken burger with cheese on it, cheeseburger, maybe a drabanan. It's nowhere close to as severe as the wagons. So next step, I think how we have to educate our children about a spiritual high. So I entitled the shiur Spiritual High from Wagons and Wages. What does that mean? Let's say a child goes ahead and he sees a wagon out and he knows the numbers. He learned about the laws of Hashavat Tevedah. He has the numbers of Yesh and Best and all that. And he calls. The person from Yesh answers and says, "Thank you so much." And a few minutes later comes by with a van and picks up the agalah, the wagon, the supermarket cart that was left outside, that Reuven the Tzaddik were called about. And Reuven sees him pick it up, and he's so happy. He should be on a spiritual high at that moment. And just like during Kabbalah Shabbos, Mizmor Shir Tov Lodot LaHashem, he's in such a beautiful place, thanking Hashem for Shabbat, and for the beautiful family he has, and all the gifts, time to learn on Shabbat. The whole week he's so busy. And he's in a spiritual high. After incredible Kabbalat Shabbat, it's that same spiritual high he should have when he sees that 1,000 shekel wagon being picked up by the supermarket that he just called. And I entitled the shiur, Spiritual High from Wagons and Wages. He runs a school. He runs another operation. Not easy to pay the bills. Not easy to pay the employees. And on the 10th, he pays his employees. That's the day. No money around. Technically, he has no money. Is he really violating the issur of not paying his employees if he doesn't have it available? He goes ahead and he borrows money and he does this and he cuts other expenses of his personal life to make sure that those workers receive their money on time, even if technically he had an out. He should feel he's on a spiritual high. So to me, we naturally and often feel spiritual highs. We have a beautiful esrog, a lulav, an amazing davening, a gishmak shia that we're giving or learning, a chavrusa that we're attending, and that's great. We should feel spiritual highs from that. And we should also feel a spiritual high when we pay a worker on time. And you know what? What's the bottom line? What's the criteria for feeling a spiritual high? In my opinion, anytime we have devekut b'Hashem. When we have devek, closeness, devekut with Hashem. And when do we have devekut with Hashem? Hashem gave us 613 ways to have that devekut with Hashem. And all of those 613 paths give us devekut Hashem in Hashem, give us closeness to Hashem. And when we're having that closeness with Hashem, naturally what should kick in? A feeling of satisfaction. I'm growing. I'm getting closer to Hashem. And if we want to call this a spiritual high, then that's what we're having. And the spiritual high shouldn't be only when I pay my workers on time, only when I call up Yesh and Chef and Best. It should be any time I fulfill any of the Taryag mitzvot. I feel good. I feel productive. I feel like I'm getting closer to Hashem. May we be zoche to inculcate this message in our adults, in our youth. 8, to be careful and precise with every single halacha, monetary laws and ritualistic laws. And number 2, when you're being precise and you're fulfilling the mitzvah, feel good, Feel the closest to Hashem. Feel the spirituality. Feel Dveikus. Shalom.